This is in response to my video asking the simple question of, when you first encounter a person, what are the things, be it physical and also when it comes like personally, internal, mentally, about that person that you absolutely positively will not compromise on whatsoever. When it comes to me, and this is just related to a person that I just met, as I said, the people that I'm meeting nowadays are just not really up to par and just aren't worth me really putting an effort of a relationship into, because I just don't see it going anywhere whatsoever. Yeah, this person kind of falls into that category, just based on a couple of things. So when I first meet a person, I am very, very big on the oral area. That includes the mouth and inside. I'm very big on that. I'm not fond of a person who smokes, because they end up with like yellowish teeth and they have that horrible odor on their breath. I'm not cool with that. You can chew gum all you want, but I still smell it. Chapped, cracked lips, no. Lips that are extremely, extremely dark, that lets me know that you're a smoker, and I'm not talking about cigarettes. That's not cool. Smoker, be it cigarettes or whatever else that you smoke, is not cool. Black and mild, a little pot, no. I'm not into that whatsoever. Next comes the teeth. I'm big on teeth because of the fact that my teeth are not perfect, and I'm so particular with my own teeth that the guy that I prefer would be someone who had somewhere near or close to perfect teeth compared to me. I like that. A guy with nice, well-kept, pearly white, clean teeth. It's nice. Also, when it comes to oral hygiene, I don't want to smell your breath from 15 feet away. That's not good. I don't want to smell your breath from 10 feet away. I don't want to smell your breath from 5 feet away. So obviously, I'm not saying, okay, so you had something to eat, that's fine. But I mean, just really, really stinky breath. And you guys understand what I mean when I say stinky breath. That's just not cool. So when it comes to me, it's this oral area. The person that I met struck out, strike one. You know, you only get 3 when you first meet me. Strike one is the fact that he had a window, and it was good. This tooth right here, gone, missing, disappeared, empty space. That's not cool. That just in itself, I was just like, ugh. Secondly, when it comes to the physique, I tend to, this is not a requirement, but I tend to veer more towards guys, what I call to have a basketball physique. They're, you know, tall, they're lean, or they're slender, but they still have muscle tone. That's what I tend to go for. The football player physique, which is what he had, is more of that big, bulky, you know, muscular. I don't usually go for that. That's something more for my sister. I'm not really all into, you know, muscles and big muscular thighs and all that stuff. That just doesn't really do much for me. And he had that. So that's not really the physique that I'm going for, but that was decent because he had a nice body. It wasn't too muscular like Arnold Schwarzenegger bodybuilder type thing, but it was, you know, you could tell that he works out and he keeps fit. The third thing was actually the age. Now, these are not things that I'm saying is a must. The must was the oral area. These are just 2 other things about this particular person that I'm talking about that I just kind of threw off. The person is 12 years older than me. That's a little bit too old as far as I'm concerned for me to be even thinking about. It's just too old. Anyways, so those are things, that's the main thing that I'm very picky on, is when it comes to the oral hygiene, the whole mouth oral area. When it comes to internally, physically, mentally, I like the person to have some kind of a brain. I don't know if you guys have ever run into a person and you're just thinking like, are you serious? Like they just come off like a durr type of thing. That doesn't have, I'm not feeling that. I want you to at least be on some kind of a same educational level as me. I don't want to feel as though like I have to teach you stuff. Like I'm I'm a second grade teacher. I'm teaching you stuff. It just doesn't. It's not cool with me. I should feel that you should have as much, some level of knowledge or some level of education where it's like we can communicate. I don't feel like when I'm talking to you, all that's ringing through my head is stupid, stupid, stupid. That's not cool. And this is number 3 when it comes to personally. These are 2 things actually that I'm very particular about. Is the person's like educational level, not really educational level, but their state of mind and they're knowledgeable. They may have not gone to college or whatever like that, but they're pretty knowledgeable, roundabout knowledge when it comes to certain things. You can hold a decent conversation with them and it's cool. The other thing I can't stand is to repeat myself. I don't like for a person to ask me the same question, especially when it comes in the same format. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even try to switch up the format, but you asked me the same redundant question over and over and over again, be it on the same day or different days. I can't stand repeating myself. One, because of the fact that I'm thinking that maybe it's because you aren't listening, and listening skills are very important. They can really keep you out of a lot of trouble if you would just listen. Or you just don't give a crap about what I said. You just said, and just put it to the side and then have the nerves to ask me again. It gets on my last nerves. So those are my things that I'm unwilling to compromise with. And of course, like I said, any woman can open her mouth and say like, no, he better have a job. That's one of the things that's just like a major for a lot of women. You're a man, you better have a job. Because as far as I'm concerned, the Bible says that you must work. You are the bread maker. You are the provider. So how are you even coming up to a man's standard and you don't have the most basic thing that God told you need to have? It's not about having a penis. No, you need to have a job. Anyhow, that's just me. And that's just me ranting. But this person that I met, I'm just like, he's cool if for like he's not even cool for conversation because he doesn't really have a conversation. The conversation basically goes with compliments. When are we gonna meet and hook up? Compliment, meet, hook up. Compliment, meet, hook up. Compliment, meet, hook up. And it's like, dude, if you're not willing to get to know me on the phone, we are not having a decent conversation on the phone. You're not showing me at any point that, okay, let me get to know this person over the phone and get to see something about them so that I can decide whether it's worth me making time, effort, spending my money, spending my gas, putting on mileage, finding a babysitter to go out with you, and you're not even holding a near decent conversation with me. So when we go out, I don't see what kind of conversation we're going to have. Now, yes, you can go out and have the most unbelievable conversation and get to know the person. That's fine. But I'm at a point where I'm not trying to get to know you when we go out. I would like to get to know you prior to that. I want to know something about you so that I can make that decision to see if this is going to go anywhere or not. I'm not going to go out and spend my money and spend my time just to find out that, he wasn't even really worth it. So now not only did I burn gas, eat up some mileage, have to go crazy looking for a babysitter, and spent time that I could have just been at home watching a movie from Netflix. You know what I'm saying? When I could have just found out all this information over the phone and just be like, yeah, I don't think this is going to work out. Click and just delete your number and keep it moving. But that's just me. So that's not going to work out. But like I said, the people that I'm meeting just up front are not up to par. So I pretty much knew that was not going to work out.